This video made possible by Buy Mobile. Hey everybody, welcome back to Howtechs. Today we're going to show you how to put a micro SD card inside of a Samsung S10. That's Galaxy S10. So first you want to identify the SIM tray, which is the same place that the micro SD card goes in, and that's up here on the top. You'll see a little hole next to this band, and it's in like kind of an elongated oval shaped cutout, and that's actually the tray that you're going to pop out with this SIM removal tool. If you don't have one of these, basically they're the same for all the phones nowadays, and you could just use a very thin paper clip that you straighten out the edge. So you want to identify this hole here. Make sure you don't push it into this one. This is the hole for, should be the noise cancellation microphone. So you don't want to push into that and ruin anything. So just use this one and be very gentle and pop it out. And there we are. And so now you want to take your thumbnail and get it under that tab and just slide it out very carefully. And in this case, it's empty, but you might have you should have a SIM card in here. So you want to make sure that doesn't fall out. So the way that this works is, if you're not familiar, you can fit actually 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card and a micro SD card. So there's actually a label here, SIM 1 as well as SIM 2 and micro SD. So SIM 1 is something like this, with the electrodes facing down. It'll fit there. SIM 2 is here, and unfortunately with this phone you can't put both an SD card and a nano SIM in the slot at the same time, because basically they have to occupy the same position. So here's it with SIM card 2 in there, and of course you could have dual SIM. So let's put in the micro SD card. So you'll notice there's like a notch here on the top, and that actually fits into the same spot that the notch on the nano SIM was. So it goes like this though. So in this case, because it's a bigger card, it goes kind of sideways instead of up and down. And if you look at the bottom here, you can see the electrodes are towards the center here. So this should actually snap in place because of this little small spring-loaded beam here. And so it shouldn't fall out, but if you do push it, it will pop out. So anyway, let's put this guy back in. And of course, we'll put a SIM card in, because most likely you're using it with a SIM card. So let's get this guy in. So yeah, just make sure that it's pushed down so that it's sitting in the tray and it's kind of locked in. Now take your nano SIM, and that should kind of lock in as well. And now, if we are very careful, it won't fall out unless you push it. So let's make sure everything is flat, and we'll try to slide it back in. So you want to make sure that the hole that you use the SIM removal tool here is on the bottom. So basically facing towards you if it's in this orientation. And take the phone with the screen side up and slide it in very carefully. And you kind of have to wiggle it maybe a little bit to make sure that nothing gets snagged. And now you have to be very careful. So there's a small seal here, as you can see. This is to keep the water out, so to keep the waterproof factor. So you want to just gently push that in, make sure it's not twisted, make sure it's not snagged, and then push it all the way in until this is smooth, so you can basically run your finger over it and it doesn't snag. It might not be 100% smooth and flush, but it should be like 99% of the way there. So it's barely visible that there's even a crack there. So I can catch my thumb on it a little bit, but not really. So that's basically pretty sealed, if you can see that. And now the SIM card is in there and the micro SD card is in. So let's take that out again. So basically the same steps, and just pop it out, push it gently, stick your thumb under there, slide it out gently. You want to make sure that you have the phone screen up so that it doesn't fall out on the floor in case it's come loose, and hopefully stays in, and then you can just very carefully push it out. And there you go. So that's how you insert and remove a micro SD card from a Samsung S10. And just slide it in, and again, be careful of the seal. Push it till it's flat and smooth on top. Okay, so there you go. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Don't forget to subscribe. Definitely check out other videos for the S10 and many other popular phones here on Howtechs. Bye. This video made possible by buymobile.com.au. Card is here on the bottom right, and there's also a very small notch here on the bottom right as well. You guys can see that. There's also